affecting adventure, but one that buoyed my spirits over our current predicament. Exactly 60 years ago, Rachel Carson's Silent Spring exposed the dangers of pesticides, turned environmentalism into a public health crusade, and helped galvanize a whole new generation of green activists. During the Long Sixties, 1960 to 1973, this Silent Spring generation inspired 3 precedents to heroic environmental action and moved Americans of all stripes to stand up to protect the only planet we have from defilement. Although it doesn't constitute a major part of this narrative, I document how John Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, and Richard Nixon all dealt with climate change. The burning of fossil fuels is the main cause of global warming, as greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere contain the sun's heat, raising global average temperatures and fueling vicious weather events, including record-shattering heat. Both JFK and LBJ knew about the climate threat, courtesy of high CO2 emissions, but at the time it seemed like a distant problem. White House advisor Daniel Patrick Moynihan went so far as to write President Richard Nixon a memo in 1969 about the carbon dioxide problem, warning that the heated planet could cause ice caps to melt and oceans to rise. "Goodbye, New York," Moynihan wrote. "Goodbye, Washington, for that matter. We have no data on Seattle." My journey to write Silent Spring Revolution began with my book The Wilderness Warrior, Theodore Roosevelt and the Crusade for America, 2009, which I envisioned as the first of 3 volumes linking U.S. presidential history, one of my fortes, to 3 waves of 20th century environmental progress and policy: Theodore Roosevelt, 1901 to 1909, Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945, and the Long Sixties triumvirate of Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon. In The Wilderness Warrior, I described how our 26th president preserved over 234 million acres of wild America between 1901 and 1909. In Rightful Heritage, Franklin D. Roosevelt and the Land of America, 2016, I documented the progressive second wave, in which Secretary of Interior Harold Ickes, Audubon Society-inspired Eleanor Roosevelt, and U.S. Forest Service's intrepid mountaineer Bob Marshall acted on FDR's enthusiasm for preserving treasured landscapes in every state. Sandwiched in between, I wrote The Quiet World, Saving Alaska's Wilderness Kingdom, 1879 to 1960, 2011, which focused on the storehouse of natural resources situated in the last frontier, and chronicled the Guardians, from John Muir to Dwight Eisenhower, who campaigned to forever protect the wondrous paradise from Glacier Bay to the Arctic Range. These days, the Greenland ice sheet is vanishing much faster than projected, which adds to the rising sea level. Alaska's Arctic coastline is exposed to more sunshine, which causes intense warming, leading to unprecedented melting of blue-green glaciers and sprawling ice fields. The wild Alaska of the Quiet World, where over 60% of our national parks are located, is vanishing. The threatened polar bear has become the symbol for climate change awareness. How will Ursus maritimus survive in perpetuity if its Arctic habitat disappears? Of all the many books I have written since earning my Ph.D. from Georgetown University back in 1989, I consider these histories, taken together, to be a true cornerstone of my work, merging my presidential history focus with a deep-seated passion for national parks, ecology, and wildlife. I am not including an additional title of mine from 2006, The Great Deluge, Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans, and the Mississippi Coast, because it is as much a story of political and civic crisis as it is a tale of environmental upheaval. Silent Spring Revolution, then, completes what I have envisioned as a presidential trilogy, detailing how, after the radioactive shock of Hiroshima, a network of conscientious post-war